Hey everybody, it is part 3 of painting Gene Tierney in Airbrush and India ink. I'm so glad you guys could make it. Happy Wednesday, we made it to another week. This is a very special live stream because we are giving away a full set of my brand new Dilution series, which is made by Speedball Super Black India ink, which is very exciting. We have the light, medium, dark, and black mixture, which is all you need to create paintings such as what you see here. And I'll tell you, this is very exciting for my channel, for my technique, for my students. It's given me the ability to share this wonderful method with everybody and making it so simple and having the painting process so smooth. I really can't express enough how smooth it actually is, which is really fantastic. So all you have to do is to enter to win this full set. The only thing you have to do is subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and then just leave a comment, and that's it. So you got, okay, you like the video, subscribe, leave a comment, and by the end of the stream at 11:30, we'll find out who won, which is very, very exciting. So I'm very happy about that. I know it's going to be great. So let's go ahead and put up the chat. That would be just 1 second here. Let's see. Here. It'll just be one quick moment, guys, and we'll get this going. Let's see. So we're just, but the great thing about these dilution series is that is no mess. These come with eyedroppers, so it goes straight into your airbrush. So cleanup is really, there's no cleanup. It is probably the easiest method, I think, out there today, that's for sure. So let's go ahead and get the chat going. I just have to go ahead and authorize this chat here. It'll just be one quick moment so I can see who's in the room, what kind of crowd we have today. Hopefully a healthy one. Okay, almost there. Let's see. All right, just be one moment, guys. And putting in the password. Okay, so now we're going to see who's here. All right, so it looks like we have Jake from Brushstrokes, really cool. Raul, we have Willie, Keith, good to see you. Ray, how's it going, my friend? We have Tone, Raul, Jersey Joe, good to see you. Wendy, this is really fantastic. So if you can't leave a comment, well, if you just leave just you talking right there is leaving a comment. So just say anything, like and subscribe, say anything, and that automatically puts you in the running for the free set, which is really pretty exciting, I think. So this is really, really, really cool. I'm going to go ahead and quickly set up my YouTube so I can see, which is really important, so I can see it on a big screen. Let's see. Okay, so we have 9 watching right now, which is nice. So this is all very good news. So right now you can see we are, oh, thank you, Wendy, I appreciate that. Let me lower the volume on this. The sound is good. The picture quality is good. How's everything, guys? All right. So right now I have. Now these mixtures are absolutely perfect when you're using something like the Sotar, because one of the hardest things about the Sotar is actually getting the ink in there. And what you usually do, all you have to do is just take the light mixture and put in your 3 drops, and it's that simple. So as you guys know, we always go ahead, and when we start anew, we always start off with the light mixture because it's just getting reacclimated. It's very light, so you're not making, really harsh marks, and you're just getting warmed up, so to speak. Like a relief pitcher, he gets like 10 to 12 pitches before he faces the batter. Same here. You don't want to go from being cold, not painting, to go ahead and working on an eyeball with, let's say, a dark mixture or a medium mixture. So thank you, guys. I appreciate the check on the quality and the sound. Let me just make sure I moved over a bit. Okay, fantastic. So this mixture, which I think is really groundbreaking, these dilution mixtures, is only $16.95, and a link is in the description field below, and it goes right to my secure website, and you pay with PayPal or credit card, and I'll get it out to you within 24 hours. And these mixtures will last you probably, I would say, at least 5 or 6 paintings at least. The regular paintings that I work on now, maybe even more. So, and then you don't have to mix, you don't need these cups at all for the ink, which is really fantastic. You don't have to worry about whether or not your eyedroppers is the right size or anything like that. So this is really very groundbreaking for this technique. So now I have my Sotar Slim. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get reacclimated to the painting, work on some edges. See, we have like an edge here. Let's see if we could take care of that. I don't take the Cash App tone, unfortunately. Only PayPal at this time. You're a subscriber and everything like that. If you wanted to work it out, I can give you my address and you can send me a check and I can go ahead and send that out to you. No problem, Tone. So, it's would be a pleasure getting it out to you, because I know you would love this set, definitely. They are half ounces. You get 4 of them. You get the light, the medium, and the dark, which goes over every stage of the paintings on my live stream, so you can definitely follow along. And then also, if you want to make it a little darker, I also include the regular little 5-ounce of the Super Black India ink, which is fantastic. So it's a great value, definitely better value than any paint you can get out there today. Because with the dilutions, you just get so many paintings out of it, which is great. So Brushstroke said I should look into the Cash App. No fees like PayPal. I'll definitely look into that. Thank you so much, Jake. I appreciate that. That's going to be on my agenda this week then. Thing about e-commerce, everything's always changing. You always want to have things that are, how do you say, the most convenient. Now the great thing about this is I have my Sotar with I have this hooked up with my light mixture. And then what's really cool, I have my Badger Extreme Patriot Arrow, and I'm going to go ahead and very quickly, just so easily, put in my medium mixture. And you see that quickly the medium mixture is in there. So I have 2 values going at this time. So with the medium mixture, I can just go ahead and do the darker parts of that edge there, which is really fantastic. Yeah, PayPal's been very good to me, Joe. I do like them. You know, that's how all my eBay transactions with PayPal. They also, it's really great. What PayPal does as well, guys, which I really like, is that PayPal actually has the e-commerce buttons, which is fantastic. Other companies charge you like $50 to put that on your website, but I'm sorry to hear you don't like PayPal. What happened with them? What caused you to not like them? So as you can see with the medium mixture, I'm just doing a little bit stronger lines. We're working on the hair here, you know. So anyway, so we're just going ahead and we are... Now what we're going to do is we have a direction of the hair going this way. So let's see if we can go ahead and start that. And we have our freehand shield, which is really fantastic. Here we go. And there we are. So you see we're basically, what we do up here, we also have to repeat down here. Because you don't want different parts of your painting, how do you say, different parts of your painting. You don't want to have imbalance. So with this technique, balance is everything. So I have the medium mixture right here. I'm not going too dark. Everything's going to look dark, but I haven't got them, you know. So let's see. Put this here. And what I'm really doing is I'm just refining some of the edges here. I already blocked out this shape, but now I'm going to refine it by starting to work on some of the edges and some of the nuances of this shape. I think will really help us out. So do you think, so do you guys feel that you would benefit from having everything all mixed out for you with the eyedroppers so you can hit the ground running as opposed to getting out the water and the ink and use, whoop, see that? That's another good thing. You don't have, if these are all closed, so if it was a mishap, that would have been a disaster, right? So you don't have to worry about, you know, having big things of ink and spilling it. This is probably the neatest way to do it, you know, which is really fantastic. So what you guys need to do to get the free mixtures, and this is light, medium, and dark mixture with black ink. It's 5 ounces, and it's normally $16.95. The shipping and handling is $3.95. Comes out to a little more than $20, but you will get it free. So just make sure, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you leave a comment. You can leave a comment anywhere here. Just say something. Just say, you know, Dilutions Set. That's all you have to say, or you know, and then you're in the running. Okay. So I really want somebody to win this. So I want really good participation here tonight. So. Okay, Ray said that Drew Blair came out with a rough edge French curve. Great for curves you don't want to have a sharp edge. Well, that's pretty cool. That sounds really good. Thanks for that, Ray. I appreciate it. So you guys out there, are you working with India Ink, or what are you guys doing right now? And if you are working with India Ink, what brand are you using? And what airbrush? Now, Ray just purchased a brand new airbrush. He has the Extreme Patriot Arrow, the 105. Not the Arrow, but his has the bigger cup, and it looks amazing, which is really fantastic. So you see, it's important to move around and also come right over here. So if you guys want to go ahead and purchase this, there's a link in the description. You can go ahead and get that for $16.95 plus $3.95 shipping and handling. And I'll get that out to you tomorrow, which is fantastic. It's everything you need to start this technique with the tinted paper or with clayboard or masonite that's treated with gesso and marble dust. And you can see that in my website, you know. So now that I went ahead and refined this shape, let's go ahead and take out this. Now this is a great eraser. It's called the Mono Knock. I don't know if this is in my Amazon store yet, but you can go ahead and look in my Amazon store, and the link's in the description. Those are affiliate links. And Jersey Joe says, "Hey Tim, how many total ounces of ink diluted set?" Well, these are half ounces, so you get a total of 2 ounces, which is pretty good. You don't have to mix anything. It's already pre-mixed by hand by me. So you know, when you follow Joe, my live streams, you're going to get the exact mixture that is perfect for this. So there's no guesswork, which is really fantastic. And that's going to last you a long time. And you're not going to be wasting any ink, because 3 drops of this will last you a while. So you just go ahead, put 3 or 4 eyedroppers in there in your airbrush, and you're ready to go. So it's going to last you a very long time, and you're not wasting any ink. So, and I think it's really something that really speeds up the process. So that's one of the reasons why I came up with it. So right now, of course, I'm with the medium mixture here. Right, this is a new eraser I just found, so I'm going to put that in my Amazon store this week. It is the Mono Knock 3.8. I really love this eraser. It's not too hard, not too soft. It's a little bit softer and a little more on purpose when you use this as opposed to the mono. The mono has its really important uses because you can get those hair-like lights. You see that, guys? You can really get in there. So, but if you're doing something like a larger light area, such as right here, I think the mono is not as aggressive. It doesn't tear into the paper like, let's say, your aggressive eraser would. Something like this, right? The Perfection. You'll use this, that will tear into the paper. Remember, we have economy of paper, so we definitely want to make sure we're not killing it, right? That's so important. That comes out to 2 ounces, correct? That is true, Wendy. But the thing is, you're paying for the expertise of having the exact mixture. You don't have to worry if you're going too dark or too light. So when you're following my live streams, you're right on the money. So you're going to have a much better experience. And the most important thing is learning, right? Is learning the technique. So that's one of the reasons why I like this technique, because it's the marriage between airbrushing and drawing. I feel you feel like you're drawing it, you're painting at the same time, which is really great. An electric mono eraser, that sounds pretty cool. Actually, you should talk to the people at Tombow. I'm sure they would be listening to that. Well, that's cool, Joe. I appreciate you mentioning the ink. So it's always very informal here, but I appreciate that, Joe. Um, so I'm excited about the ink mixtures. I know it. Whoever gets the free set, I'm gonna love to hear your testimony as to how much easier this makes your life. Just the fact that you don't have to get out the eyedroppers, you don't have to get out these cups, and also one thing about these eyedroppers, these bottles, they're amber. So not much light is getting in there. That means less evaporation. That means they will last very, very, very much longer. So if you put the ink in here, you'll see in here they will last, but the thing is you're going to have evaporation. So this way you don't have to worry about whether or not this is going to evaporate. It's going to be the exact mixture that you need for whatever moment that you're working on. Yeah, so just go ahead. Exactly. You can say anything, Joe. I appreciate it. But definitely, I'll tell you what, if you ask a question about the ink, that's very cool. So definitely ask any questions about the ink, about whether your concerns, whether you think they will last or get evaporated or anything like that. So Ray says that the sticker doesn't leave a residue on the paper. Okay, now what paper are you guys mentioning? Are you talking about the Canford cardstock or are you talking about Jupo? And you see right now what I'm doing is with this medium mixture, I'm refining the shapes, and that's what we're going to be working on for a lot of part 3, is basically working on that, refining shapes. So the great thing is I already have the Sotar Slim fired up with the light mixture. So if I want to do something that maybe is a little more subtle, I have that ability, and I don't have to go ahead and mess with anything else but the dilutions of the light mix already fired up in my Sotar. So I'm having 2 airbrushes going. You guys like having 2 airbrushes going? I love it. It really makes life easy for me. I don't do it as much as I should, but it all depends on what projects I'm working on. Yes, as far as I never clear coat any of the ink. The nature of the ink tone is basically you want this matte finish. I kind of like it. It has that sort of European fine art look about it. These cups do evaporate a little bit, Joe, and and that's just natural because of the fact that. But the thing is, more light's passing through. And my point basically was the fact that these are amber, less light goes through it, so there's less evaporation, which is a good thing. That's why I chose the amber bottles, So with this lighter mixture, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to do a little fine detail here in her eye. Just a little bit. And you want to move around a lot, guys. That's really important, to move around as much as possible. Steve, how's it going? So good to see you. Thanks for your support, my friend. So this is your chance to, you already left a comment, so this is your chance to win the set of 4 of the dilutions of the India ink that I use for this technique. I use for Lady Gaga. And Steve purchased one of my live stream paintings, Lady Gaga, which was really great, and I appreciate that. Hola, ¿cómo estás, Andre? Muito obrigado for coming. I appreciate that. Now, Andre, if you guys don't know, he's an amazing airbrush artist from all the way from Brazil. Brasileños! Viva Brazil, right, Andre? No, you didn't win yet, Steve. I hope you win. Well, I hope everyone wins, but we can only have one winner. But, you know. But the good thing is we have the ability to purchase this set for only $16.95, which isn't bad. The link for it is in the description field, so you can go ahead and purchase it. Oh, great. So it's so great to see that Andre is doing very well. He's a really very talented artist, as all you guys are. You really are fantastic. And thank you for spending your time on a Wednesday to come hang out with me. I really appreciate that. So I like moving around, and let's see. So with this light mixture, I'm making decisions that aren't like the end of the world. I will probably go over it again. See that? Same thing. Look for, if you're making a decision like that in that value, it's always good to look for that value elsewhere. And if you guys go ahead and purchase the set of the dilutions, you're supporting the channel. So I'll continue to be able to go ahead and do these live streams. And keep them at $2 and everything like that. So it's like a win-win. You guys go ahead and purchase the dilutions. You're going to make better paintings. You're going to be able to follow the live streams better. And you're going to support the channel, and you're getting a great product and you're supporting the channel at the same time. So it's not like you're giving a donation or anything. You're just supporting this programming, so to speak. So as you can see, by moving around, I'm really looking to see where I could actually add some value, but since I'm using the light mixture, these are very light values. So let's go over here by the corner of the mouth. So any questions about the technique, it would be very welcome if you have any. That's one of the great things about the live stream. You have me to answer any questions. Questions about technique, questions about airbrush use, questions about anything. So go ahead while you have me. I really recommend you guys asking questions about this technique, okay? So let's see. Andre says, do I use Schminke Ecoline PH Martin's Liquitex? I use all the time. I always use Speedball. Super Black India ink is my basis. This is the best ink in the world. It's waterproof and it's really fantastic. So I found that this dilutes perfectly. It also doesn't separate with time once you mix the dilutions. So I love the Speedball Super Black India ink. I also use PH Martin's Bombay India ink, which is really fantastic for the white. But lately, for the white, which has really been a game changer, this is perfect. This is the Createx illustration colors. And this is the 50/50 illustration white. 50/50 is just a code. It's not 50%, 50%. Uh, this is an old reducer, which I like. They don't sell anymore, which is a 5091. I still have this from a purchase of 2013. But you can also use the 4012. That's only for the white mixture in the very beginning. Yes, Andre, I agree. The Createx illustration is fantastic, you know, really great. Me encanta the illustration white, the Blanco de Drew Blair. So going back to my really light mixture, I'm going to go ahead and just make some changes here. And it's always good to move around and do stuff like that. So what I'm going to do, so Andre, where in Brazil? Qual ciudad in Brazil? Que vives? So you can see here we're a little bit darker underneath her lip there. So go ahead, guys, if you're out there. Oh, Belo Horizonte, very good. There's a muy bonito allá. Oh, that's so great. So Andre is from Brazil. He's from Belo Horizonte, which I think in Portuguese means beautiful horizon. So that's pretty cool. So it's so great that we have people from different countries here, which is really fantastic. And let's go ahead with our eraser, and we're going to go and work on some of these lights here. I'm not worried about individual hairs, but I am worried about direction and overall shape. And this way I can refine it, right? So it's almost like I'm squinting my eyes and I'm not really focusing on it. I'm just getting the larger shapes of her hair. Just like that. Yes. So where you live, Andre, is very beautiful there. So what we're going to do now is we are going to go ahead and continue refining the hair here. Now, we're not worried about individual hairs, we're worried about large shapes. The large shapes is basically what's going to help us with this painting. You got to look at the hair as an arm, as the head or the nose or the breast. You got to look at that. Basically, you have to get the big shapes first. And this is not just an airbrushing technique. This is a technique for all realistic painting that is founded in the classics, founded in classical traditions and European Western tradition of painting. So it's very important to make sure that you are doing the larger shapes first. I'm back with the medium mixture, right? Actually, no, this is the light mixture with the Sotar. And what I'm going to do is come back with the medium mixture of the Extreme Patriot Arrow. Now I'm definitely a Badger guy. Badger is a friend of this channel, so That means Badger supports the channel just as Speedball does. So I'll do everything I can to help support my friends at Badger. So you see, Kiva, how are you? How's it going? Thank you so much, and so glad to see you. Kiva's a wonderful artist. She's always very busy doing murals and everything like that. So it's always fantastic to have her here. So thank you so much. What a great surprise that is. Quick tip on any airbrush, whether it's a Badger, Pache, you always will have, once in a while, I've been painting all day since like 11 o'clock today. So you might want to just, pull back the needle a little bit and put it back, spray out a little bit. And what happens is when you work a long time, you're really going to feel, it's not going to be something that's, inherent or stopping you from working, right? But you'll feel a little bit of a resistance. So just doing that resistance goes away. Also, it could be a little bit of a tip dry here, so you want to check that out. So that's really great. And so with my medium mixture, I'm just going to continue to refine those shapes in the hair here. So if you guys aren't subscribed, you won't be eligible for the free mixture of the free set of dilution. So make sure you're subscribed and make sure you hit the like button, because any of those things aren't done, unfortunately you won't be eligible. So I have it all packed up, ready to go. So whoever wins tonight, it will basically be out tomorrow, which is really great, So one of the more important things about this mixture here, the light, the medium, and then the dark, you know exactly how light to go in the beginning, how to go in the mid-tones, not to oversaturate. Because if you go too dark here, you have nowhere to go, and it's really going to cause a problem, right? So, and also when you go dark, you don't want to go super dark, because like I said, if you go too dark, then you're really going to go down the road where it's going to be very hard for you to come out. So what this does, it answers the questions of a lot of students and a lot of people who are, part of my live streams for over a year. And basically I listen to them, and this will definitely help you out. And if you're painting, maybe a couple of times a week, this will last you for a very long time, and you don't have to worry about putting too much water, too little water. So my city right now, Andre, I am just outside of New York City, Nueva York, and I am just outside of it, maybe 5 miles away, so very close, which is cool. And so thank you, Andre, I appreciate that. So Kiva says it's been a hot minute, so she has been doing muraling all day, every day, and heading to Wisconsin. What part of Wisconsin there, Kiva? Still with the medium mixture here. Put some of those hairs in there. Remember, dagger strokes, guys. So let's say you had a mixture that was too light in the middle tones. Then you're not going to have an evolution of the work starting to go from light to dark. So that means you would probably have to go over it several times with the light mixture, which is fine. But the thing is, as you go over several times with the light mixture, what's going to happen is that you're going to start deteriorating the paper. Having the light, medium, and dark mixtures will actually ensure that the paper is still going to be in good shape and not beat up towards the end of the painting. You really have to take care not to destroy the paper. So that's why the paper that I use, which is Canford cardstock by De La Rowney, or you could use the color line, which is by Canson, and they're a friend of the channel. So they were very, very helpful to help me find a paint that works with this India ink technique. So definitely that's really good. You want to work with a mid-tone gray, maybe even a light gray. This is Dreadnought Gray, which is a light gray, guys. There's also a second color called Gunmetal, and I'll show you the difference between the two. So they both have their pluses and their minuses, guys. So one's not better than the other, just a different look and a different approach. So I'm just going to pull out a Gunmetal right now. So this is Gunmetal, so you can see that the paper right off the bat. Ah, thank you so much, Andre. I appreciate that. So the paper right off the bat is thicker. This is much darker. This is your Dreadnought Gray, and this is Gunmetal. So they're both a neutral gray, but I would say this is probably 6, and this is probably a 4. So you use a lot more white to pull out those lights here. With here, you would use more ink to get the grays. So it all depends on the subject. If you're working much darker, if it's more of a harsh light and dark, then I would go with the Gunmetal. If it's more of a high key like this one, then I would go with the Dreadnought Gray. Let me show you another instance of where Dreadnought Gray was the best. Here's a painting I'm working on right now, and as you can see, it's a very high key image. And so you definitely, muito obrigado, boa noite, so great to see you, Andre. I appreciate, all the way from Brazil, so great. So you can see with a high key that you want to go with the Dreadnought Gray. Also, you want to make sure that you use the side that comes with the sticker. Let me show you real quick. So with all of the De La Rowney, you have a sticker, so you want to use the side with the sticker. It's very, very important. So that's crucial. So because it's different texture. This one has a little bit of a more of a texture, more of a weave. I feel gets in the way of the technique. And then this side is much smoother, so it's perfect. So I really feel that way. Okay, so getting back to the work here. So Kiva, so tell me, you have the, I saw you had the 105, you had the Extreme Patriot. So tell me your likes, what you like about the Badger, and how does it compare to other brands that you have used? Now when we come in with the dark mixture, we're really going to pull out those darks, and then we're going to have some really nice halftones, which are going to actually reveal themselves, which is really what you want and really what the technique is about. As you can see, I'm moving around all the time, which is very important. You can use your freehand shield if you want to hit some edges. Like I said, we're working on the big shapes, but it's okay to, if you see a harsh edge, go ahead and put that in there. So that's what you want to look for as well. You want to look for edges right now. You definitely don't want to look for individual hairs. You're looking for a large shape. So where there's some sharp edges, that's what you're going to be looking for right now. So I know this is a simple thing, but always cover the area you don't want to paint and spray the area you want to paint. Always remember, when you have the medium mixture, you know, you want to be mindful that you're not going to do something that you should have done with the light mixture. Okay, so let's go back to our Sotar Slim with the light mixture. We're going to do some move around to the arm here. We're going to do some nice modulation here. Before I do that, let's go ahead with our kneaded eraser. And this is a kneaded eraser by the company Faber-Castell, which is really great. Comes in this little plastic thing there, so I highly recommend that. Probably the best kneaded eraser so far that I've used. I do like Generals. I remember Ray saying that he liked Generals. I do. I just can't find Generals anywhere. So definitely my new favorite is Faber-Castell. Okay, so going back to our light mixture, and let's go ahead and show you how easy it is to fire up the light mixture with this particular airbrush here. So you see here I have, let's go over here. So you see I have my Sotar right there, and I'll just take my light mixture and we'll just go ahead and put 2 eyedroppers in, and that's probably the easiest way you're ever going to load this Sotar, that's for sure. The Sotar Slim, the 2020. So definitely the easiest way to do that. And of course you'd never want to do your initial spray on your artwork. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this shoulder turn a little bit. Now in these 1940s lighting, it's a little interesting how they do that. You're not getting a strict, they're using a lot of different reflectors and everything, but still we can definitely try and get the turning of the form here. And you want to look for a minute or look for a second, paint for a second. If you're going to paint for 3 seconds, make sure you look for 3 seconds before that. Don't go off, start painting and start thinking about, you know, what you're going to purchase for dinner or something like that. You want to keep your mind in the game. So if you're looking for a minute, you paint for a minute. If you're looking for, well, you never want to paint for a minute, but you want to, at most you want to do 5 seconds and 5 seconds, but I like the idea of maybe 2 seconds and look for 2 seconds and then paint for 2 seconds. And that's a really good rule of thumb. Your work's just going to get better. It just has to get better that way, which is really what you're looking for. You want to make decisions whether or not to put something there. Thanks, Steve. I'll tell you, that is a game changer. I see a lot of people when they paint, and me included in the past, where I just went off on my own and started doing these like, what the heck was I thinking moments, right, Steve? So this way you keep your head in the game, you know, you're looking and then you're getting that information. All the information that you want to make a great painting is in your reference. It's all there. So it's up to us to get that out of there. And we're not going to do that. We're not going to get that if we're going off on our own. So thank you so much, Steve. I appreciate that. Yeah, I can see it in your work. You're really on point with that. So that's cool. Kiva says she loves her airbrushes for different reasons. She's been using the Sotar for ink exclusively, which is perfect. The Patriot is a workhorse for about every task I throw at it. My Harder and Steenbeck is also a favorite. Yes. What do you like? What do you think of the Patriot as far as the detail you can get out of that? It's sort of it's deceiving. You wouldn't think you can get the detail out of that Patriot as you could. So that's what I feel. And Kiva says she uses the siphon feed from your work. Oh, that's great. And I do love the fact that Badger does offer a lot of variety and also affordability for parts and everything like that. So, like I said, Badger's a friend of this channel, so I'm going to be talking them up. So, that's just the way it is. But yeah, I mean, I'm not saying other brands are not great. But like I said, Badger and Ken are friends of the channel. So brush strokes. Jake says he needs to get you all on the Creoles. I heard great things about them, and you're doing great things with them. So it's cool, Everyone has their preferences, and it's good to have those preferences. And it's good and that's what really, to me. That's what really causes good discussion, and and makes the airbrush companies, hey, if there was only one airbrush company, there wouldn't be any competition, and that's bad for us artists. So it's good that we all support different brands. So Kiva says you can do as much with the Patriot as the Micron. So true. The only thing I think the Micron at the lower, and I'm sure you guys and Kiva will agree. Hey, how's it going, Alan? Good to see you. So glad you're here. Hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, Alan. I'm sure you're a subscriber, but do that so you have a chance to win the complete set of the ink mixtures, light, medium, dark, and black. So you can see this painting is done with that. So how cool is it? So I want you to win, Alan. So you already left a message, so that's good. You already commented, so that's really great. Badger from his neck of the woods. Tim here. Oh, in Illinois, that's for sure. And you even in the Midwest, you guys actually have real badgers out there. But I do love the fact that the Micron can use a really, really low air pressure. But you're right, as far as just tweaking the air pressure, the Patriot really does everything that you would need. But yeah, I like to have good competition with airbrush companies. That's really important. So recently stuck on Olympus. How great is that? So one of these days I want to see your Olympus. So if you ever do a video, a quick one on Facebook or YouTube, love to see it, Tone. It's like we really get attached to our airbrushes, don't we, guys? Now, this airbrush, my favorite in the world, the Extreme Patriot Arrow, you can find a link in the description field below, and there's a 10% off code, timothypsa, and that would be really cool, so you can save money on that. And that's because, like I say, Badger is a friend of the channel. Kiva says she's so excited to have my inks bottled up to sell. Oh, thank you, and I really appreciate it. And and Kiva, it's all about the students and artists embracing India ink, because I really feel India ink is the technique for artists who wanted to throw their airbrush away. You have all these different brands, and you have reducers, and you have different kinds of extenders, and here's one right here which is quite confusing, transparent base and all that. Well, I know you guys know about it. I don't want a whole discussion on transparent base or anything, but my point is that for someone coming in new, or someone who has given up airbrush, or someone who wants to just have a very clean technique, what you want to do is you just want to have something that is clean, simple. It has a simple technique. There's no mediums. You don't even have to add water to this. You just put in your airbrush and go. I mean, how exciting is that, Kiva? For those who are ready to throw in the towel, right? But thank you, Kiva. I appreciate it. So Kiva is in the running for the free set. So that is really cool. So, you know, it is definitely something that is going to help the seasoned airbrush artists and also the ones who want to draw away. I can't tell you how many times over the years that doing the airbrush in India ink, how many people have told me in messages or email, Tim, I was ready to throw in the towel, but these India inks really got me excited. You know what? One of the things I hate the most is when someone has these beautiful airbrushes and they're like, I just want to throw it away. And then you have these hawks who are like, oh yeah, I'll buy it off your hands. I'll take that off of you. And, you know, almost like taking advantage of them. That's not Tim. Tim is basically, you have that airbrush. You bought it because something about it was exciting. Something about it turned you on artistically. So that's why these are the best, because you don't even have to worry about water. Everything is already there. You just put in your airbrush, light, medium, dark, middle, the beginning, the middle, and the end of the painting. You know, with the tinted paper, it's just fantastic. And has no chemical exposures. Exactly. You know, I actually went on Speedball's website, and there are no health hazards at all with Speedball, which is really fantastic. So that is really good for people who are worried about that, Kiva. So I appreciate that so much. Most airbrushing problems are caused by paint not being... That's exactly it, Joe. But you know what? It's already reduced. So how cool is that? So you just basically expressed or nailed it on the head why this is fantastic. Why that, you know, why someone who's ready to throw in the towel is going to be saved with their equipment. They're going to be saved as an airbrush artist. So that's fantastic. Willie says he has to go to bed. See you next week. All right, take care, Willie. It's always good to see you, man. So thank you so much for stopping by. So I'll definitely put you in the running for the free set. So that's great. But you know what? No one's going to tell you that. No one's going to tell you that acrylic paint is not made for the airbrush. I don't care who you are, what you're saying, what soapbox you're on, how long you've been painting. Acrylic is not made for the airbrush. It's not made for this little freaking hole over there. What's made for it is reducing it. And to reduce acrylic, you're going to have a lot of problems. What are some of the problems you're going to have? Is that you can only, you know, being an artist, being a fine artist who is trained by classical painters, that the more you reduce this, the more you loosen the binder. You loosen the binder, and then all of a sudden the paint doesn't act correctly. It separates the pigment from the binder, so what you thought that you were diluting, you're actually separating the thickness from the thin, and that's where you get problems. So that's why it causes issues. It's not just thinning this out. Now all these all these acrylic companies have this problem, like how are we going to solve it? So they come out with different reducers. But they don't tell you that you can't reduce more than, you can't reduce more than 10 to 15% with water. So that's basically it. It is. It really is, Steve. I appreciate that. So we're going to go ahead and continue here on this side plane here. And what we're going to do as well is we are going to darken this area, but we're going to take our freehand shield and we're going to make sure that we don't mess in this area right here. So you see, we are, by doing that, hey Johnny, how's it going? How's everything? Transparent base does help a lot when you're working with acrylic, Jenny. What it is, it's basically a thicker reducer. It basically is just, your transparent base is just your acrylic paint, whatever brand you're using, their formula, but it's clear. So that's basically how that is. Jersey Joe says, I may have to adjust my mixtures as the days grow hotter. That could be, but I haven't found that so far, Joe. But that's pretty cool. It's been pretty hot this summer so far, but definitely take that in consideration. But the thing is, these are in these amber jars here, and they're, you know, they're airtight. Those are two very important elements there. I still work with acrylic. I still work with pastel. I still work with pencil. So this is a very good solution to a lot of problems working with different mediums with the airbrush. And let's see. So right here, we're going to go ahead and there's going to be a ridge of light right here. And that's basically, there's like a backlighting situation here in the reference. Well, definitely. I agree there, Joe. Temperature and humidity does play an effect on everything, right down to a pastel pencil. A pastel pencil is not going to sharpen in the heat because it seems that the pastel becomes much more brittle, and so every time you go to sharpen it with a pencil sharpener, it's going to break. So in the winter time, you're actually going to have an easier time of that. So yeah, definitely in every medium, temperature and humidity does play a role, especially if you're working in oils. Oils, of course, longer drying times in a more humid area and different temperatures do affect that a lot. Golden has some great acrylics. They're called the open line, and that slows down the drying time, so it reacts a lot like oil paints does, which is really fantastic. So back with my Sotar with the light mixture, I am going to go back to the shoulder area. So right here I can see it gets darker, but it's not a harsh dark, so it's kind of gradual. So I'm going to be about 6 inches away, I would say 5 inches away. And what we're going to also do is extend that dark down here. There we go. So we're working with the light mixture, and doing that, it's almost like sketching with a 2H pencil, which is really good. Ray says transparent base doesn't make opaque transparent, but rather suspends the particles to stop them from gathering together, giving you a faux transparent paint. Still opaque, but just less so. Very true, Ray. That's a good point. So Johnny says, looks very good. I appreciate that. If you're referring to this painting, thank you so much. If you're not, then sorry about that for being presumptuous. But so thank you so much, Johnny, for stopping by. It's so great. And then also you're in the running for the free set, which is this set right here. That's the light, medium, and dark, and then some black if you need to go a little bit darker. And it's normally $16.95 plus shipping and handling, but for you it would be free if you won. So hopefully you win here. Have you subscribed, Jenny? If you haven't subscribed or hit the like button, you won't be eligible. So make sure you do that. Make sure you subscribe and hit that like button, okay? That's very, very important. So let's see here. So this arm comes forward because it's much lighter than the background. So one of the things that we can do is actually darken the background by using the freehand shield so we isolate so no overspray goes on there. Oh, Alan says he found me on Instagram and today showed you to someone I work with and they were amazed with, oh, well, thank you, Alan. I really appreciate that. That means a lot to me that you took the time to show my art to somebody and that it inspires you, and I really appreciate that, Alan. Thank you a lot. That definitely makes me feel good. I appreciate that, Alan. Thank you. This whole channel is about helping people and helping people find out how amazing Airbrush is if they haven't found it already, and also finding ways to make it easier for them. And one of the ways, and that's, you know, I still have to support myself, and that's why I come up with things like the, come out with things like these mixtures here that I could sell, and also affiliate links so I can continue doing this and still pay my bills, you know. So that's pretty cool. Well, thank you, Joe. I appreciate that so much. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. I appreciate everyone's participation every week and coming by. It means a lot to me, you know, that I'm making a difference, hopefully, in a small way. There are a lot of channels out there, and they do some really horrible stuff, you know, horrible artwork, and they don't listen or give back to the members or the participants, and I don't want that. I really want everyone to feel a part of this. Steve says, funny thing though, the best results are pushing acrylics through his, oh my god, his turbo? As odd as that sounds, but there's never any tip dry. Wow, that turbo has that little, I gotta see that. I want to see a video of that. That would be cool, Steve. That's really cool. So Johnny says he subscribed long ago, first time chattering here. Oh no, your English is great. Finland. So we had Brazil, we had Finland. So welcome, Finland. That's so great, Johnny. Thank you so much. That is so fantastic. Yeah, that turbo. I have one. I just I bought it more as a curiosity, but I haven't used it yet. I just don't have time to go and experiment too much. That would be like a real big experiment, you know, with commissions and live streams and videos. I wish I had the time to experiment. I will when time permits, but right now it doesn't. I still have a little bit of a pencil line right here, so let's go ahead and get rid of that. Yes, Kiva, we want to see that video, Steve. I would love to see that. So that's that would be really fantastic. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lightly, I would use, see, if I want to get rid of a pencil line, you're going to use your kneaded eraser because it really is ultra soft. It's not going to dig into, not even the outer layer of the ink, which is really great. So every eraser has its definite purpose in this technique. You got to get to know her, meaning the airbrush, right? With that turbo. Yeah, that turbo, man. I heard it actually makes a really weird noise. Is that true? Almost like an engine. And that would be like an external mix, wouldn't that? Would that be considered an external mix, guys? So notice how I'm moving around all the time. Always moving. So I'm still with that light mixture in my Sotar 2020 Slim. Yes, a dentist drill. Oh, that brings back memories there, Steve. Yeah, oh my goodness. Between 2015 and 2017, I was in the dentist's office at least once every 2 weeks. I had my own chair. I was like Norm from Cheers. Everybody was like, Tim, how you doing? The receptionists all knew me by name. If I went on a date, they were like, how did that date go? I mean, it was really funny. Not funny. I mean, I had a lot of dental work done. They did great work, and but I'll tell you, that was every spare dime during that period. Kiva says that I do an awesome job juggling everything. Kiva says she's running out of the door every day with a pot of coffee and a straw. That's cool. So I'm so glad that you're busy. That's the important thing, right? The busy you get with art, the more you're going to grow, not only as an artist, but also as an entrepreneur, right? That's what we are as artists. Ray says the turbo is what the artists in the newspaper industry use to remove backgrounds from photos. Wow, that's really cool. Oh yeah, dentist PTSD. Luckily I had a really nice dentist, I'll tell you. I always said other dentists are scary, I think of Steve Martin in Little Shop of Horrors. But my dentist was this Russian lady, woman, and she was fantastic. She was very stern, right? I remember one time I went in there and she's like, oh, we're doing root canal. And I was like, oh, okay, root canal, that's just one. She's like, no, two. And I'm like, two? I don't want to do two. And she's like, we're doing two. And she was that stern. But you know what? Those root canals, I was eating pizza that afternoon. So she was fantastic. She studied in Moscow and then studied again when she came to the States at NYU, which was really very cool. Pache, that's true. Pache makes them. That's the one brand I really haven't been exposed to much yet. Harder and Steenbeck or Pache. Those are the two that I still don't know. I was an Iwata guy for quite some time. I use only Iwata. And then last year when I first got my first really nice badger and got to meet Ken, and it was great, Yes, exactly. She was so good with the root canal. She knew how to get everything. I hear horror stories. People have to go back. Only one time did I have a mild toothache after a root canal. And I was always eating something and having no pain later, So Kiva asks, which badger brush is my favorite? By far, with nothing coming close, is the Extreme Patriot Arrow. The fact that I can get just the most amazing details with this Kiva, it just feels nice and sturdy in the hand. Like you, I do art for a living, so I'm painting like 8 hours a day, sometimes 10. Yesterday was 12 hours. And when you really get used to an airbrush, you know it. And I really know this airbrush. So that's why I really love this airbrush, because you can grow with it. And once you grow with this airbrush, you're not going to be sorry. It just really grows with me because it just has attributes. It really does. And the things that it doesn't have, really are very minor, that don't even It doesn't even create a handicap in any way. Also, I love the fact that if the needle breaks, I get the needle and the whole, I get the needle, the cone, the cap, you know, the nozzle, and it's just great. And that's for like $9, so that's why I love it too. So that's, now, Ray just got his hands on an Extreme Patriot with the larger cup, and he likes it a lot too, so that's pretty exciting. That makes me feel good when, you know, people get airbrushes that I know are going to really serve them well. That's one of the great things. Yeah, Alan, that just, you know, she was that great, and I recommend anyone to her. She was in Fort Lee, New Jersey, and now I believe she's in Tenafly. And for many years I had extreme fear of the dentist. Hence I had so much dental work to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break, guys. Not a break, but just a break in the action of painting. And what we'll do is I'll go ahead and make sure that the authorization is still good for the chat. Let me put that in. And then we'll come here, put in the password. Okay, so we're almost there. Okay, so the software I'm using is XSplit, which is really good. I really love it. I'm going to show you where I get my airbrushes from this place right here, USAAirBrushSupply.com. As you can see, you can shop airbrushes here, and mostly they have the best prices. This is the one I believe that Ray got. This is the Extreme Patriot, the 105. You can see it's just a wonderful airbrush. I really recommend that one. Or you can also get this one, the one that I love, which is right here, the Extreme Patriot Arrow. Now you can see $97.20 is really a good price. It's really very expensive. But if you use the code timothypsa, you get 10% off of that. And not just the airbrush, your whole order. So definitely highly recommend that. And so, yeah, so this has been a big week for my channel in the sense that I'm starting to roll out the ink mixtures, medium, dark, and light. And I really feel that it's not, you know, just to make money. I made the price really low, so I'm not making money, and anyone can afford it. And these will last you 6 months. If you're painting sporadically, they'll last you even longer. Money back guarantee, of course, but there's nothing wrong. It's going to arrive perfect. So you don't even have to have water or mix anything. It's fantastic, and it really works perfect with paper. And that's another thing. I've done this technique on regular sketch pad. So it really opens up. You don't have to have a special Yupo paper or a synthetic paper. I'm not saying anything bad about those, but just a regular thin paper would really work well. So basically opening up the doors for anyone to really explore airbrush, especially those who have the airbrush and you know, maybe have given it up because they were frustrated, didn't have anyone like me to take them under their wing and let them know that it's the airbrush guys out there, you know, they're not superhuman. They just know, like Alan said, know about reduction, know about distance, know about you know, playing with the airbrush and not going too dark too early, going light to dark, that sort of thing. So definitely is something that I feel is really important, not just for me and my channel, but also the airbrush community as a whole, especially those who are let's say, just beginning, right? So this is, so at about a about 11:30, 11:20, we're going to stop, and then we're going to figure out a way to pick the winner in the most, how do you say, uh, fair way. See how many people actually went ahead, subscribed, and I might even just do this after the live stream's all over. But I think it would be best to do it while it's here, so the person could actually go ahead and claim that prize. Anyway, so remember, you have to be a subscriber. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe, like the video, and make sure you comment during this live stream. And 11:30, 11:20, it's over. So everyone who comments after 11:20 are not eligible for this particular contest. And I'm actually going to get this out to you tomorrow. So I'm going to, so tomorrow morning, I'm going to try and get this to the post office right away. So that's going to be really cool. So anyway, let's go ahead back to the painting. So we're going to go with the Extreme Patriot Arrow, which I still have the medium mixture in. And let's see if we can go ahead and refine some shapes up here. Oh, so Tone says he found my Instagram page. Thank you so much. Thank you for the compliment. I appreciate it. So Jersey Joe definitely commented. That's cool. So thanks for that, Jersey Joe. I appreciate it. So you see here, what I'm doing is I'm really looking for a second or 2 seconds, and then I'm painting for a second. And while doing that, I can really see where I made a mistake, or maybe I sort of went too far with a shape, and then I can go ahead and make those changes because I'm really seeing what is in the reference, the photo. And also seeing what's not in there, you know? Yeah, I have been, I do post on Instagram. I should post more. That's probably my social media that is probably the least. Twitter is really low. I never really embraced Twitter. YouTube, I think now is 2,270 subscribers. I believe I have around almost the same with Facebook. And Instagram is around 808. 842 right now, but I would like that to grow too, because you can reach a lot of people there, a lot of people who would love to learn this technique, you know. So I can see where if I'm looking for a second and painting for a second, I can see where I probably wasn't paying close attention, even in the projection. So you see right over here, I can see I forgot this little light area. Now it's just not a light area. There's a separation in the middle there. I'm going to leave that there for now. So as you can see, I'm able to go ahead and get a refined shape with the mono, but if I want to really pull that up, I think I'm going to have a better time with this Knock 3.8. And you see now her hair is really starting to have volume, move around, which is really nice. And let's see if we could work on some hard edges over here. And I do see there's some nice hard edges along the fabric here. So let's do that. In the reference, I'm not sure if this is not part cast shadow, but I wasn't at the photo shoot, so I really can't tell. So there we go. We're going to really reinforce that edge there. So I think Tone said that he purchased these gloves, right? Did you purchase these gloves? And I know Ray did. These gloves are a lifesaver. Really keeps your hands from, messing up. Actually, a friend made this for me, Alan. This is just a small version. I have these really cool small versions of the pinup shield, as you can see. So I really love them. The original pinup shield is really huge, and I find it so hard because I generally work small, right? So I need smaller shields. So I really appreciate that person who made them for me. I just can't thank them enough. Really made my life as an artist a lot better. Oh, a couple of set of these gloves. That's fantastic. I'm surprised how inexpensive they were, right? I would think they were expensive. I got this set for I think it was like $2 or something crazy like that. And they're good quality, right? I mean, as far as gloves go. So I'm just going to crawl along the surface here. And right now I'm using the light. Let's go a little more bold and use this medium mixture here. So as you can see, I originally used the the light mixture, and then go over with the dark mixture. Yeah, you saw them as cheap as 99 cents. That's incredible, Tone. Really. That's why you probably picked up a couple, right? Did you get yours on eBay? I got mine on Amazon, actually. I should put them in my Amazon store. That's what I should do. But you see how I'm pulling out that nice hard edge here, wiping it off. Don't wear a shirt that you really like while you're painting. So right here, you have a nice hard edge, but then it sort of disappears into the shadow of her breast here. Well, we haven't gone as dark as we're going to, even though that does look pretty dark. Oh wow, that's really cool. So Jake said he finally got his glove. You don't care for it. Why is that? Are they too big or small for your hands? I could see I got lucky. They seem to be a pretty good fit for me. What was your reservation about it, Jake? Now you see, just by extending and going darker with this, you can see how that lightens everything up. And that's what this technique is really, where it really shines, is that as you go darker, everything lightens up. So that's why you have that. So Ray, okay Ray, have a great night, and thank you so much. See you Friday morning. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Ray. Always a pleasure. So thank you so much for stopping by, Ray, and hopefully you'll win this mixture. I hope, it's hard. I wish I had mixtures for everyone to win. But thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Ray. Ray's a good guy. So as you can see, guys, by darkening this up, what we're doing is, by darkening it up, we're lightening everything else around it. So you see how by going dark here, that doesn't look so dark anymore. So that's really important. Brushstroke says he likes the feel of using his bare hands, just his preference. I'll probably use it when he draws on his iPad. That's cool. I love working with my bare hands too, but I am constantly, getting schmutz or whatever, smudges on there, and that causes some issues, and he has oils on the hands and everything, so that's why I do it. But we all have our own preferences, and that's cool. That's very cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to move around and realize that we can go darker here. It's all about balance, right? That's what we want, balance. So I went ahead and changed for personal reasons. The uh, I'm I'm not having the workshop here in New Jersey this week, so it's going to be in September. And stay tuned for then. It's still going to be at that same location at the Hobby Lobby in Totowa, well, right on Route 46, which is really great. Tone says that they're good for Yupo paper. His hands sweat like crazy. Exactly. And that happens to me too. But, you know, I can see also Jake's point. If you're careful, then you can don't need the gloves. But I'm not careful in that respect. I'll put my hands on it. So Alan says no AC. Wow, that's so. Tone has no AC, and Alan says, "Can we get this guy an AC?" So Tone, you're here in New York, right? You're not too far from me. Are you in Queens, if I'm not mistaken? Yeah, we had a hot summer. We're still having a hot summer. Today was pretty brutal, right, guys? Went to the gym today and just really worked out my frustrations, and that was good. That felt very good to do that. Some days, you know, where you just sort of wake up on the wrong side of the bed sometimes, that's like the best, that's the best fertilizer, so to speak, for good workouts. Queens, yes, I actually lived in Astoria for a while when I was a kid, in my teen years. So let's go ahead and extend this dark over here. And I think that's going to be really good if we do that. So we're going to use our freehand shield. And we're going to be a little careful here. As you can see, I already went over here with the light mixture. Now it's time for the dark mixture at this stage. Remember, we're in part 3 here. You usually only have part 5. We only have 5 parts. So everything's going as planned. So usually in part 3, we're using a lot of the middle mixture. Brushstroke says 95% humidity here right now. If I'm not mistaken, you're in the Midwest. Was it Iowa? Am I right, Jake? I'm getting good, remembering where you guys are. No, I know that Joe's in Jersey with me. And so as you can see, we're darkening this up. The air must feel like soup. Now, Alan, where exactly are you again? Usually takes me asking several times before it actually becomes in my memory. So, Iowa, yes. So, Alan, you are... Now, where's Alan? I'm drawing a blank. I know you probably told me before, sir. So you see, by doing that, we're creating more balance in the picture. And then we are able to realize, oh, Winnipeg, all right, Canadian neighbor, so cool. So right now we have United States, Canada, Brazil, Finland. This is an international live stream. I really like it. Really happy with that. So I'm thinking of going to visit this fall, this autumn. And it would be Montreal or Toronto. Hasn't been established yet. I still have to iron everything out, you know. So let's use our our freehand shield here. Now, as we get darker, we realize that the reflected light has to get darker with it. Because remember that when you're painting on the shadow side, you're still going to have lights and darks because of the reflected light, but the value is going to be very close to one another. So you want to make sure that you get that value relationships, and also make sure you hit those exact shapes that you see. Remember, painting for a second, looking for a second, looking for a second, painting for a second. and that's what's really going to help you. So Steve says it's so important to overall balance in a piece. Tim, he loves the way that I stress the importance of seeing this in a painting. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yes, it is. It's so important, Steve, to realize about relative values and how values are different. In the light side, they're shouts and screams. And then in the dark side, the values are whispers. They're very quiet, you know. And I don't speak French, which I did, Alan. I speak Spanish and a little bit of Portuguese. But definitely I love French. Do you speak French, Alan? It is. Steve says it's a make or break deal. It really is. If you're not paying attention to the values and paying attention to looking for a second, painting for a second, you're gonna get lost. And I don't care how much, how much of a experienced painter, it's gonna hurt you. You know, it really is gonna hurt your painting. So I'm moving around, so I'm assessing the situation here. Like, where can I get darker? Where am I ignoring things? So what I really can see is I'm ignoring this bottom right area. So let's go ahead and address that. And that's one of the things that my live streams and also my videos and how I've been taught is not only to paint realistically, but to how to create a painting, right? How to make an image that has harmony, and looking at shapes as if it was, looking at this, guys, as if it was a abstract painting, as, let's say, if it was a how do you say, like a Motherwell painting, if you guys know abstract artists, or even painters like who's my favorite, let's see. I like Pollock a lot. I also like de Kooning at times. Mark Rothko is my all-time favorite, definitely. Oh, Kiva says that I make it look easy. Thank you, Kiva. I appreciate that. That's very kind. So I went ahead and I really appreciate that, Kiva. Thanks for your support. Thank you. And it's great to have you here today. So you can see I'm going to balance this out. Now I don't want to go too wet, right? So, with these mixtures, and why you have your light, your medium, and your dark, is because they all have their place. So you want to put your light mixture like right over here and leave it, not keep going over it over and over again with the white mixture. Then you're going to warp the painting, right? So you don't want to do that. So that's why you graduate from the light to the medium to the dark. So right now we're in the medium. So as you can see, I'm not going to go crazy because I'm going to come in with the dark later. But what I want to do right now is just balance this out. That's my goal. So I'm not going to oversaturate the surface. It's almost like playing chess. I'm thinking several moves ahead, and that's what we want to do. So looking at this, since we darken this, we can see that we have to go even darker now, because since this is dark, this is lightened up. So all of a sudden there's an imbalance, and you got to constantly bring those balances together. Steve says always coming up with light to dark is also so important. You can always add more, but take away can be a pain. There's only so much you can erase, right, Steve, before it starts getting destroyed. So definitely on the money there. That's exactly it. So what we're going to do is we're going to balance out with our medium mixture, and we're going to bring this value in congruence to everything else. So it's not necessarily going to be as dark as it's going to be, but it's going to be relatively dark to this dark here. One other trick that really helps you with finding values is to, if you want to find the values, find where that value is somewhere else. So if I have a value here that's going to be darker, where would it be equal? I would say it would probably be equal to maybe right about here. So what value this is here I'm going to go ahead and put that here. So you're not guessing, you're looking for the value somewhere else. And as you get further and further along with a painting, it's a lot easier to pick those relative values up here and there. And a lot of times with my students, right, Steve, I sound like a broken record, but I need to really, like, almost like get it to the point where it becomes second nature, that, you know, that a student is looking for that, looking for those values, or doing the 1 second or 2 second rule, or things like that. That's really going to help them down the line. I much rather hand a student a fish than actually much rather teach them to fish than hand them a fish, right? Because I want the work to look great when I'm not around, when they're doing it on their own. And that's the role of a teacher, not to create a wonderful painting while you're with me and then you go on your own, you're like, what do I do now? I want to talk about principles. I want to talk about rules and understanding lights and darks, and to be able to identify values and depict them, but also depict them in a way where it is still harmonious with other parts of the painting. So as you can see, I'm just refining some shapes as I go, especially here in her mouth area. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate that. I had some really great teachers in my life. I'm very blessed for that. And, you know, geographically where I lived, and the schools, and having great parents that went ahead and encouraged me into something that was clearly not a growth enterprise. But I was very blessed with that. And, you know, I have those teachers, and they're, you know, being so gracious to share the information for me. I just have to share it with you guys. And as you can see, by darkening down this arm, I can also see where this value is somewhere else. So, you know, it's good because once you darken an area, and we're darkening gradually, once you darken one area, you're able to go ahead and realize where other areas need to be darkened as well. So I like pumping the trigger. You know, I have the air on all the time, and I'll just pump it back and forth. And that helps create skin texture. Let's go ahead and protect with this here. Right, it's so important, Steve. It really is. I'm always looking at artists' work, you know, the old masters, figuring out what they did, what makes an old master painting great, you know, all those different aspects that really help me, not only with my fine art work. Hey, what's up, Bill? How's it going? So Bill just put himself, just in the nick of time. You had like 6 minutes left, and you were in the running for the free set of 4 of the dilutions, light, medium, dark, and black. So that's cool. So I know you're already subscribed, Bill. Just hit that like button for me, guys, if you can. That would definitely help. So as you see, I'm basically moving around. Now this right here is really dark, and it's kind of a wishy-washy sort of value here. So I have my mixture, my medium mixture here. Now I'm going to go in with the dark mixture, but that's going to be down the line. But right now we're going for relative value. As Steve says, you want to go from light to dark. So we're not as dark as we want to go. Hey, Antonio, ¿cómo estás? Good to see you from Dallas, Texas. So cool. So we have Wendy from Dallas as well. That's fantastic. And let's go ahead and extend this black over here. So we definitely want to use our freehand shield, and you want to wait until you actually get that edge you're looking for. There's no bonuses. So, João from Brazil, como vai você? Muito obrigado. So great. So 2 from Brazil today. How great is that? So we have some really very cool people here from Brazil, from Canada, Texas. I mean, it's so great. We have a really great group today, which is really fantastic. So I'm so glad that Bill actually got here in time. So let's see. So João, make sure you went ahead and subscribe so you're eligible, and hit the like button, because you already went ahead. And let's see. And then who else just stopped by? Who was that from? Now who's from Dallas, Texas? Let's see. Oh, Antonio. Make sure that you subscribed, Antonio, so you're eligible. So right now we only have 3 minutes left. Eu falo português para pequeno, pequeno. Sí, falo português. Pero yo puedo hablar español mucho más, entonces portugués y español muy cerca, las lenguas. And as you can see, I'm working with that mid-tone mixture now. So you can see, even from the beginning, of how things are starting to darken up, and we're getting our darks. And what that does, it opens up to come in with the mid-tones. For example, let's say right over here, since everything is darker, I can go ahead and extend this with the middle value here, with the middle mixture. Oh yeah, música brasileira. Oh yes, incredible. Samba, right? Samba es la música de Brasil. Me encanta la música de Brasil. Hey Mike, how you doing? Man, Mike, you made it 1 minute left. You're already a subscriber, so you're in there for the running of the free dilution set here. So look at that, light, medium, dark, and black. So you're in the running. So we only have like 1 more minute until we end this. So now we're going to figure out how we're going to do this, which is really cool. So let's see. So what we're going to do, so right now it is 11:20. So I'm going to go to my screen here, and we're going to look at the comments. So the last comment was from Zhao, and so everything after that. So what we're going to do is we are going to figure out how we're going to pick pick the person. So what I'm going to do is, let me see if this would be a good way to do this. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to pick a book, any book here, and I'm going to pick my favorite artist, Anga, okay? Alright, so I'm going to pick this book here. So we're going to pick this book here. This is my book, Angra. And what we're going to do is I am just going to open this up, and what we're going to do is try and find a number, a 2-digit number, and whoever's comment is within that number, that might be a way to do it. Let's see. So actually, this is what I'm going to do. So we're going to find out tomorrow. So I have a way to do this. What I'll do is I'll take all those comments, and what I'll do is I'll make them all on a sheet, and then I'm going to close my eyes, and I'm going to throw a dart at it and see if I could hit it. What do you guys think of that idea? So what do you think? You think that's a fair idea, guys? What do you think? Or I could go ahead and put all the names in a hat, and then put my hand in and pick it out. What do you guys think is the fairest way? Quiet people, well, you know, unfortunately, quiet people are out of luck, Wendy, because you had to comment during this. So that was part of the stipulation. So what we're going to do, sheets of paper with names and do a drawing. I see. That's probably the best way to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'm going to create a small, I'm going to go ahead and create a very short video. Yeah, darts can be dangerous. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a very short video tomorrow morning, just like who's the winner. And I'll even go ahead and show how I close my eyes and pick a name out of a hat so it's honest. So what do you guys think of that? Does that sound good? This way I can get that mixture out to you. Now guys, if you don't win, don't buy it yet because you don't know whether or not you're going to win. But after we pick a winner, this mixture is only $16.95. The link's in the description field below. And I'd be more than happy to send that out to you. It'd be really cool. So I would love to do it live. So you guys would like to see a live stream tomorrow? How about this? I'm going to pick the winner. Would you guys rather see it live? What do you think? What do you think the best way would be, guys? Live, or just do it off camera and videotape it? What do you think is best? Okay, so I'll do it live tomorrow. So guys, go ahead, do me a favor. Go ahead and I'll very quickly, what I want you guys to do is to email me here at paintedglyphs@gmail.com, and this way I can alert you guys as to throw a dart at the computer. Oh my god, no way, that's too expensive. But what we'll do is if you email me, I'll go and send out a mass email that the live stream is on as far as picking the winner. So that's going to be a lot of fun. My mom's having a procedure tomorrow, so it's going to be later in the day, but definitely will be very cool. So tomorrow we're going to do a quick impromptu live stream, but I'm going to email everyone beforehand, so make sure you email me if you're not already on my mailing list, and we'll definitely get that out to you guys. Thank you guys for stopping by. It was a lot of fun. I really appreciate everybody and everyone participating. It's so fantastic. So take care, guys. I hope you have a great rest of the week. Bye-bye.